Although Lerone Murphy got the job done for us last week, unfortunately, Miktaibak Orobaya was biting off more than he could chew after he went to an absolute war against Matthias Rombeski and ended up losing on the scorecards there. And we have to rip up our Locky two-step, even though Abus Magomedov also cashed. I would have cashed our Locky Trinity as well, but we have to rip up those tickets. So, again, this year has been great for the Locky two-step and Locky Trinity. So we are going to hit those road bumps every once in a while, but hopefully we can get back on track this weekend. Just a quick plug for the MMA LOT and Patreon page, which is where I drop this parlay much earlier in the week. So usually you're able to get a better line. This week, not so much. There has been a little bit of action against the guys that were going with for this parlay, but also it is also the place for the Patreon page where you can find written breakdowns for the two regional events going down this weekend before the UFC. We have Cage Warriors and ACA going down. I'll have all those in written form and track plays for those guys on the MMA LOT and Patreon page. Make sure you guys check that out. All right. Without further ado, let's get right into it. First step up in the Locky two-step is going to be Cody Gibson as he takes on Chad and Helliger. Gibson has a tremendous experience advantage here, and I do think he is the crisper striker. I also believe that his wrestling will end up being the difference maker in this matchup, putting Anna Helliger in bad spots. And as long as Gibson can stay very educated and privy to the guillotine choke that Anna Helliger likes to threaten with, he should do a good enough job in terms of staying out of that, putting him through the grinder, maybe finishing him late, but I think he ends up winning this fight on the scorecards. But as long as he gets the dub, that's all that matters. Hopefully cashing as the first step in the Locky two-step. The second step is going to be Jasmine Jasudavicius, who might be is definitely at a striking disadvantage in this matchup against Ariane De Silva. But I do believe that Jasudavicius has a relentless enough wrestling game and a good chain wrestling game to keep De Silva on the defensive, keep her up against the cage, or drag her to the ground where she should have, maybe face a little resistance early. But as we saw in the Silva fight, it will get harder for De Silva, I should say, to work back to her feet or get back into positions where she should be able to get off on more damage. And that's where I expect Jasudavicius to continuously get this fight to the ground, grind it out, and just give us a classic Jasudavicius wrestling performance. And hopefully cashing as the second step in the Locky two-step. Now, earlier this week when I dropped it for the Patreon folks, they were able to get plus 122, but there has been a little bit of action against Jasudavicius here, which has now brought the parlay up to plus 127. Still not that bad. Still worth playing, in my opinion. If you want to complete the Locky Trinity, the best way to do so is going to be a little bit risky here, but I feel quite convicted about this spot and I want to take advantage of it. I'm happy to eat crow if it doesn't come through, but I'm going to go with Trevin Giles as he goes up against Mike Malott. Now, Mike Malott is a finish-centric fighter who often finishes his opponents early and has the power to cause Giles a lot of issues, but Giles is the slicker striker, faster with the jab, faster with his footwork, and has the experience advantage here, and I expect him to be able to stay away from the big danger that Malott presents early in matchups and allow Giles to really start running away with his matchups in the second and third round, possibly even mustering up a finish. And I got a juicy prop for you guys that I'll drop on the 3 best prop bet segment later on today, so make sure you guys tune in for that. But just taking Giles as the third step here, the Locky Trinity piece, that gave us plus 587 earlier this week, but now with a ton of love coming in on Mike Malott, which obviously makes sense for a lot of people to want to take that type of chalk, but I do think Giles could throw a wrench in those plans, and now you can get that parlay at plus 639. There you guys go. Locky two-step, Locky Trinity, a little bit riskier than we normally go with here, especially with the Locky Trinity, but I got to go with my feeling here. I got to go with my gut. I got to go with what I've been seeing on tape and what I think is the correct call, even if it's not a popular play. Let's see if Giles can get it done. All right, I will be back for the 3 best prop spots later on today. Make sure you guys come back to the YouTube channel to check that out. Otherwise, good luck on all your action this weekend, folks, and I'll see you guys later today. Peace.